it's kind of a late night thing, but Las Vegas for the casual. Las Vegas 101 for the casual person. And who is casual? Almost anyone who comes here without thinking a thought about what they're going to do, except for like to go anywhere else. If you make it a big deal, as some of us do, you only been here once, you make it a big deal, and you have the wrong impression, or you get the right impression, but maybe for all the wrong reasons. How are you supposed to visit Las Vegas? You're going to find out that there are many people who have many different reasons about why they come to Las Vegas, and most importantly, or why they don't come here. Maybe they only been here when they were children, or they were younger. But the most common thing they talk about is gambling. Of course, that's the number one issue, gambling. But is it really the number one issue that we have? There's a lot of things that you can do here in Las Vegas besides playing a slot machine, besides playing any other type of game that requires using money. You have the restaurants. That's number one. They make a lot of money off of people going here to eat. And we're not talking about just fast food. We're talking about eating inside of hotels. People love to eat food a lot. They spend a lot of money. But yet they blame it on other reasons why they don't want to come here. Now, of course, I've been coming here to Las Vegas for different reasons since my early 20s. And one thing about Vegas is it has changed structurally, but it's still the same. Everything about what people think about Las Vegas is probably true. But there are a lot of myths, there are a lot of untrue. Because when you look at it, when you boil it right down to it, Las Vegas is just like any other city. If you come here enough, you understand why. You're going to see some differences socially and mentally. Some people come here purely for vacation purposes only. Some purely come here for recreation only. And now it's starting to be one of the most sports avenue or places to attend. They get into the sports market. Of course, most people think of the old days of Circus Circus. There are many casinos who have other things for children now to do. They was changing at that point. They were changing their concept way back then with the advent of Circus Circus, and where other hotels have certain things for children under a certain age, or children above a certain age. Of course, I've seen a lot of structures come and go, changed name, torn down, and built up, where there was not a hotel, where the boulevard was much shorter. It's now, I even can't tell where it ended. I can only speculate because every time they put up a new building, it changed the structure. Where Caesars and MGM were the last buildings you see south of Las Vegas Boulevard, is now a bunch of other hotels. New York, Luxor, which is kind of old now. Now, a lot of these hotels are only 20 to 30 years old. Luxor, New York, New York, Excalibur, Tropicana, which was there, is gone. Just left a couple of years ago. Now it's going to be a baseball field. They have football field, major football field. Now they're going to bring in a basketball team. Whether it's going to be their own name, and let's not forget about hockey. Look like they have been the only one that's been up front each year for the past couple of years. Very good team. Look like the women's basketball team is doing very well. But the baseball just started. They're not doing very well because this is really the first year here. The football team is just holding its own. Not quite figure out who they are or how to get back to. There are certain aspects to the business. The only one thing that's number one is how big the arenas are. Find out that this is going to be probably the sports capital of the world probably in the future. That probably will happen. But it's always been a sports venue for the underprofessionals. They are professional, semi-professional teams in almost every sport. They come down here, practice sessions, summer leagues, all other type of stuff. Of course, gambling is the number one seed. Sports book is the number one thing that's going on here. They are changing some of the games that the casino has. They're letting go of certain games and then they're putting in others. They have more games that are more cartoony. I'm calling them cartoony because they make a lot of noise, but they don't do anything. So you still have to have a certain amount of luck. But a lot of people come here strictly because they think that's all they have to do is spend money on the machines. When back in the old days when you didn't have much, you did play just a little bit, but most of the time you walked. You walked the strip. It wasn't that big then, and it's even bigger now. The blocks are longer. They have race cars now going through there, which I don't necessarily particularly care for, but that's me. There are a lot of things going on here. They have the rodeos. They do certain things in their own kind of way. They raise prices here on everything else. Parking. You can still find free parking every now and then. Sometimes you think you can go in places, but they're only going to have events. Like they're still question about going into the Sphere. I thought you can go into the Sphere like a tour. Maybe you still can, but from where I'm, from what I'm finding out, is that when you go into Sphere, it's mostly just an event, just like anything else, a concert or a movie or a show or some sort of event. That's the only time that you can get into the Sphere, if you know what the Sphere is. It's a big ball. It does a lot of advertising on the outside, and it's very beautiful. They can do a lot of color coordination with the lights, with the Sphere going on. And from whatever angle you are in the city, it's bright and you can see it. Sometimes you can see the whole thing from a distance. Sometimes you can see it between a building or side of a building, depending on the distance you are. Vegas is the most intriguing and interesting place. Of course, most people who come from California come here. They buy homes here. A lot of people come from Utah, Arizona. They come here. A lot of people come here to live. The real estate market, which used to be cheap back in the 70s, is now overpriced, to say the least. I would think so. Back then you could buy a home then, but now it's almost out the question if you wanted to set a home, unless you have a really, really good job or a really good retirement package or a really, really good job that is more than the average job, then you can afford to buy another home here. Because we know that every time a city improves, they all copy one another. I don't care what city in the United States it is, and in some foreign countries. They're all going to bring in the top dollar by making real estate the number one priority is setting prices very high so that other people cannot afford to go to them. And that's including apartment buildings, high-rise apartment buildings, which really look like modern slums in the years to come. That's the way I see it. And if you compared the times in the 30s and 40s over on the East Coast where they built a lot of high-rise apartment buildings, it's basically what is going on here in the United States, especially on the West Coast, Midwest. Every city from California all the way back east, New York, and the whole Atlantic border from Atlantic Ocean to Pacific Ocean. Everyone is building the same type of building with the same type of materials and raising the prices according to the geographical area you live in. But Las Vegas, for the casual person, like what I'm doing down here, if you can still come here, you can still get a hotel for decent price. Every now and then, when they don't overinflate the prices, it's always been expensive. All your big hotels have always been very expensive. But when they come down with price, most people can come. If they advertise and they mail you certain things, then you can come here for a couple of days. You come here, you can get you a good rest. You don't necessarily have to walk the streets. You can do a lot of what am I gonna say? Shopping? I was gonna say something else. But you can do a lot of window shopping, browsing around, and walking up and down the street, walking to each casino. Of course, right now, where it used to be all the hotels have free parking, you can almost park anywhere and play in as many casinos as you probably can. And even if you didn't, you played a couple of bucks in every casino from way back when to now. At least, even if you didn't have any money, you can walk from one casino to the next to find out which casino you like best, what discounts that this particular casino has that would interest you to want to stay there, and is it worth it? Or you play in this casino for a while, then you go into another casino, you go eat in another casino, then you go eat in this casino, or you can keep doing what you've been doing before you got here, and that's eat outside in the city, outside of the strip. They have all the restaurants that your favorite city has, wherever you live at. They have every restaurant that you can think of. They all are going through problems. So sometimes they have many restaurants here. Of course, I talk about the restaurant business and the closures and the bankruptcies and all that, this city is affected by the same thing that's going on in California and the rest of the United States and the world, where foot traffic determines if the restaurant is going to survive or not, what the pay scale is going to be. That's going to all determine what type of restaurant they're going to have. Where they had two or three or four, now they only have two. Maybe they only have one. So if they don't have one in California, they still might have one here. Or they probably just have one in California, in Southern California, and one here. They're far between. But we know that there are other restaurants that are going or that are expanding. I just went to two of them. Black Bear, Cracker Barrel. You can still go to those places because they have expanded into California. That's a fact. And so you don't have to wait till you come to Las Vegas in order to go to those restaurants. But those restaurants are here. IHOP is here. Some of the other restaurants that I went to, they're here. All of them are here. Right now, the average temperature is over 100 degrees, at least 101, 102 degrees or hotter, depending on which part of the geographical area of Las Vegas you are. It is very hot here. People are still walking the streets, but if you want to stay out of the sun, you can always walk into the buildings and cool off. Many times, everything is very cold. Because it also reminds me that when I first started as a casual observer coming to Las Vegas, also coming by car, by Greyhound, by train before it was Amtrak or the end of or shall I say the start of Amtrak, and now the train service is not here anymore. Now they talking about putting a speed train here. They're taking their blessed time doing that. Now the train, maybe a freight train might pass through here. Usually they stop somewhere in the Union Station. Greyhound bus used to be a Union Station. Greyhound bus used to have other substations. Now everything is from the airport. I don't usually necessarily fly to Las Vegas. I have flown to Las Vegas before. I have flown through Las Vegas before and not get off the plane. So I have rented cars here before. I have taken shuttles here before, which hardly, but I used to walk the street when I was younger. Las Vegas dollar was real back in the day, and I'm talking about the 70s. You can get a pretty good hotel price. Some of the others are expensive, but usually you can almost stay anywhere. But there were always certain hotels where you can get a decent price and enjoy yourself and not worry about anything. You didn't even have to worry about you getting the car. So actually the best way to travel, if you could, would be without a car. But how can you really see the suburbs of Las Vegas unless you rented a car or you drove yourself? Because there's a lot to see within Vegas as well as outside of Vegas, in the suburbs of Vegas, in the other towns such as Henderson and so many other places. That's just one place. You can go to the mountains. I'm not too sure about going to the mountains, but you can go to the hills. You can do a lot of hiking here. You can do almost anything here you want as you can do any place else. So you don't necessarily have to gamble. Some people that think that is just not fun being here, but then again, you have to weigh your options. You can include this in your travel plans and treat it just like going anywhere up north because right now every place has a casino now. It doesn't necessarily have to be Las Vegas. A lot of people, when they travel, they just play here, but they don't play everywhere else. But some people play in California up and down the coast. They're still building casinos up and down the coast of California. And they do have casinos in other states as well, as you know. But there's a lot of things that you can see here in Las Vegas, and a couple of things on Ice Age Fossils, which is a brand new park on the north part of Las Vegas, deal with prehistoric animals. You have the Natural History Museum that's always been here, which is really Las Vegas Boulevard going north past downtown, past Fremont, but you're staying on Las Vegas Boulevard. There's a Natural History Museum. There is a Mormon historical fort there right beside the Natural History Museum. You can always go there. Only been there once. I'll probably go back there once again in the modern day. There's a place called Lion Habitat. I've been there. It's a small place, but it's like a zoo. I think many years ago they did have a zoo here, but it closed down. But this is a new thing. It's actually on the borderline of Las Vegas. It's in Henderson, called Lion Habitat. It's a very nice place to visit. You have to sign a waiver. It's around $20. You can go in and see that. What else they got here? Well, yeah, just someplace Mount Charleston. That's the mountain. It does snow up there. I guess you can go up there. I've never been up there. I don't think I'm going up there, but just that. I did mention that. I did mention the fort. Of course, you know, you got Hoover Dam that is outside of Las Vegas proper. You have other national parks and state parks within the boundaries of Las Vegas and just outside of Las Vegas itself. When it comes to shopping, you come to groceries and stuff like that. You got your Walmarts, you got your CVS's, you got your Walgreens, you got the ABC stores, I believe. You got all the drugstores. You got all the Starbucks. You got the Dutch Brothers. I did both. You have all those. And then I mentioned the other city called Summerlin, which is a more, I'm going to say a more upskate. Well, I guess you can upskate there, you know, roller skate there. That's a very good looking area. I think the medium incomes are probably high, but they got casinos there also. You got a shopping mall there also. Las Vegas does have a Chinatown, believe it or not. They have all those things. And the most important thing, if you're a casual traveler, the way most of us are, when I say casual, I mean you just travel, you don't make no big deal out of it, you just do it. You just come here, you treat it like you anywhere else. As for me, I've driven a lot of places around here. I still don't know all the streets, but I know the main streets, and that's the very important part. You are going to find the same type of trouble that you have here in Las Vegas as almost any place else. Maybe a little bit more wilder. because it is a smaller city. You think a smaller city might not have as many problems as it does with crime rate. No, no, it's the same as almost any place you go. So you ask yourself why I call this 101, because it is basic. A lot of people don't come back because they have misconceptions about it even when they was a child. Man, Jim, that's like I said, some people you can come here and not buy a thing. You can come here and just walk the streets up and down, doing whatever you want to, take in all the social shenanigans that goes on around here. You can drink a little bit on the street, but not much. It is pretty much a well-kept place. They do have a lot of homeless here. They do talk about that. Every time they build something, you can see the shift of homelessness in different parts of Las Vegas. You will always see certain parts of everything that's going on around here. Las Vegas is a very good place. You can always go to F&M Chocolate Factory. They have their own from M&M Mars. That's the family of the M&M Mars. The Mars family retired from M&M and decided to form their own chocolate conglomeration here. This is their headquarters. They got a beautiful cactus garden. I keep going to those places. But they have a lot of places you can go. Did I mention the Hoover Dam already? I think I did. Boulder, city of Boulder, the lake, almost anything that you can think of. They got it right here in Las Vegas. And if you're anything like the way that I travel, it's not really that far. It's only a 4-hour drive if you leave in California, Southern California, the Los Angeles area. Sometimes things can be a little tricky here. You can get some shows. I almost got a show today, but since we have a different itinerary this week, I won't be able to attend a show. I haven't attended a show here in years. I think the last show that I went to here was the Blue Man Group. There's a couple of shows that I want to see, but every time I come here, my itinerary changes. And so sometimes my trip is not expected to be. Maybe because I know what it's about. And I don't necessarily do the same thing back at home. But if I did go to a show, this probably is. I haven't been to any shows from where I'm from. And you can always get some kind of show here. But like I said, you can fly, drive, take the bus. The bus is not the same that come here anymore. They don't shuttle people the way they used to on Greyhound because their service is pretty much diminished. You only see them once in a while. Most people stop at State Line. You can go to State Line and come back. Look like State Line is gonna be saved. Well, we're gonna see what's gonna happen there. I did pass by it. I'm gonna go through it again. So there's a lot of interesting sites. If you if you really enjoy sightseeing, you can do the same things here over and over again in Las Vegas. Like I said, a lot of people come here. They're looking for certain things. They do have it here. Different crowd do different things. You don't have to do everything that everyone does. Some people are looking for certain things and they find it. And some people are looking for a more laid back lifestyle. And that's easy to find here. So whatever lifestyle you want the fast life, the clubs, the dancing and all that, you can do that here. If you want the peaceful and quiet, and then go out among the people and walk and look at the uh, tall buildings and go inside each one and look at the ambiance of what it took when these people were building these structures, tearing them down and rebuilding them, building them within 4 years' time, some of them longer. Some where finances permit them to halt for quite a few years and it's finished. But it also pays to know what's going on around here. A lot of people don't know about what it takes to buy and sell around here. Even if you don't know how to talk about it, at least you can listen to it. There are several sources that you can listen to, which I do all the time. The insiders of Las Vegas, the buying and selling of hotels, the buying and selling of leases, buying and selling or getting liquor licenses, one hotel owning another hotel, the check-in system, what works and what's not working, the new parking situation, of course, what's working and what's not working, and that extra money you have to fork out. Maybe that extra 200, I'm gonna be here a week, extra $200 could be spent on food, trinkets, or something else. So just like any place else, you're gonna have to save money for that, or set something aside just to take care of those minor expenses so that you can enjoy the rest of your vacation. In my next video, I'm going to be talking more about the food here, the difficulty it is to eat food. Maybe I should talk about a little bit here. But I'm going to still do some short videos and stuff like that coming up next. Today, for the first time in a long time, I did go to McDonald's today. And I did watch the airplane for the first time. I remember that certain section along Sunset Road. You can sit there and you can watch the planes land. I did that this evening for the first time. Because during the pandemic, it was closed. You couldn't even park your car there. Now, people can park their car there and watch the planes come in. So it was 2 or 3 years. I think they was going to open it back up, but they did. That's a lost art. I did do a really quick video on it. I'll probably make it a short. But this McDonald's, unsweet tea, and like I said, a lot of people don't listen. Stop at McDonald's, unsweet tea. They got the other order right. Bought my wife a refresher, one of those mango pineapple refreshers, and I have unsweet tea. Don't need the sugar. And what they give me? Sweet tea. So after going through the drive-through, they still make the mistakes. I have to park my vehicle, get out, show and say, hey, you give me sweet tea. And back in the day, I used to drink both sweet and unsweet tea. Now I just drink unsweet tea because that's what I'm supposed to drink. I like to drink it strong. You can always add lemon to it or honey if you want to. Don't have to drink the whole thing. But just like anywhere else, they do make mistakes. I'll see you in my next video. Las Vegas for the casual visitor 101. You should just like anywhere else you go. It's not a grain of salt, even though you have to watch it. You can go any place you want to around here. And you can do whatever you want around here within reason, just like anywhere else. When you come to Las Vegas, don't expect too much. Just expect to be pampered in small ways. You like it like that. You don't have to have anything, what's my favorite word, grandiose, opulent, because everything's gonna look like that anyway. And if that's what makes you feel good, then Las Vegas is for you. You either like it or you don't. Whatever you conceive, or whatever your misconceptions or conceptions are, then that's probably is what it is. Until you open up your eyes and see what you really are looking for. This is Robert Deschamps. Hope you enjoyed this little chat video. Another late night. I don't have to worry about who comes on or not. I'm just being myself. I don't practice that much. But it's live, and I'm enjoying myself. I'm relaxing. I probably should go out in the middle of the night and walk the street, but I'll save that for another night, probably another day. I'll shoot the same video that I can, probably just a little less. Vegas, baby, Vegas. You could call me Mr. Las Vegas if you want to. There's plenty of them out there. This place is just as good as any other amusement park that you want to go to. You like spending your money at other amusement parks? Well, it's got it all, and it's a city, and it's an amusement park. Very amusing, and very, very nice place to visit for whatever you want. Talk to you later. Have a great, great rest of your evening. I know 11 o'clock is kind of late, Pacific Standard Time. Talk to you later.